Hello everyone. Today we are going to having a presentation, and what are we going to explain is about adverb. But before all of that, let me introduce the members of the group. The first one is me. My name is Laban Kaladenis dari Asisi. The second is Muhammad Akmal Zakiro, and then Mutiara Anaela Balkis, and then the last one is Rida Arika Hakim. Okay, so what is adverb? An adverb is a word that modifies a verb, an adjective, or even a whole sentence. Adverbs often end in with ly, but some took exactly the same as their adjective counterparts.
Okay, so the first one is adverbs of manner. An adverb of manner describes how an action is performed or how something happens. In most cases, adverbs of manner occur after a main verb. If the verb has a direct object, the adverb should be placed before the verb or at the end of the sentence. It should never be placed between the verb and its object. The examples of adverbs of manner. So in a sentence, here are some examples. Jessie read quietly. Tom laughed loudly. Elena dances gracefully. Michael sings effortlessly. And if the verb has a direct object, here are some examples for it. Jessie quietly read the book. Jessie read the book quietly. The next one is adverbs of degree. An adverb of degree is employed in a sentence to depict the intensity or degree of an adjective, verb, or another adverb. It usually answers the question to what extent. They are normally positioned before the word they are modifying. Some common adverbs of degree include extremely, absolutely, slightly, quite, and enough. Differences in meaning between very and to. There is a big difference in meaning between to and very. Very expresses a fact, while to suggests there is a problem. Here are the examples. He speaks very quite quickly. He speaks too quickly for me to understand. It is very hot outside. It is too hot outside to go for a walk. Examples of adverbs of degree. The modification had a very positive effect. Very is the adverb of degree in the sentence. I'll be ready soon. I'm almost finished. Almost is the adverb of degree in the sentence. The event went on pretty well without much problems. Pretty is the adverb of degree in the sentence.
Okay, now I will explain about adverbs of time. Adverbs of time tell us when an action happened, but also for how long and how often. Adverbs of time are invariable. They are extremely common in English. Adverbs of time have standard position in a sentence depending on what the adverb of time is telling us. Form of variation of this adverb is adverbs that tell us when. Adverbs that tell us when are usually placed at the end of the sentence. For example, Goldilocks went to the bear's house yesterday and I'm going to tidy my room tomorrow. Putting an adverb that tells us when at the end of the sentence is a natural position, but these adverbs can be put in other positions to give a different emphasis. All adverbs that tell us when can be placed at the beginning of the sentence to emphasize the time element. Some can also be put before the main verb in formal writing, while others cannot occupy the position. Second one is adverbs that tell us for how long. Adverbs that tell us for how long are also usually placed at the end of the sentence. For example, I have been going to this school since 1996 and she stayed in the bear's house all day. Since 1996 and all day here tell us for how long the subject or something we're talking about existed or happened. And these adverbial phrases that tell us for how long for is followed by an expression of duration, while since is always followed by an expression of a point in time. Okay, the third one is adverb that tell us how often. Verbs that tell us how often express the frequency of an action. They are usually placed before the main verb but after auxiliary verbs such as be, have, may, and must. The only exception is when the main verb is to be, in which case the adverb goes after the main verb. For example, I often eat vegetarian food, and you must always fasten your seat belt. Many adverbs that express frequency can also be placed at either the beginning or the end of the sentence, although some cannot be, which are called stronger positions and weaker positions. When they're placed in these alternate positions, the meaning of the verb is much stronger. For example, I visit friends frequently. The adverb in this position has a stronger position. And I frequently visit friends. Meanwhile, this one is an adverb which is in a weaker position. Some other adverbs that tell us how to express the exact number of time an action happens or happened. These adverbs are usually placed at the end of the sentence. For example, this magazine is published monthly, and he visits his mother once a week. One of these adverbs is the word yet. Yet is used in questions and in negative sentences to indicate that something that has not happened or may not happen, but is expected to happen. It's placed at the end of a sentence or after not. For example, have you finished your work yet? It's a simple request for information. Or they haven't met him yet. It's a simple negative statement. Next one is adverb is also using still. Still expresses continuity. In positive sentences, it's placed before the main verb and after auxiliary verbs such as be, have, might, and will. If the main verb is to be, then place still after it rather than before. In questions, still goes before the main verb. For example, still waiting for you, and do you still work for the BBC? Okay, the last one is order of adverbs of time. If you need to use more than one adverb of time in a sentence, use them in this order. The first one is how long, the second one is how often, and the third one is when. For examples, it's a combination of the first and the second orders. I work for 5 hours every day. For 5 hours, it is for how long, and every day is for how often. The second one is a combination of the second and the third orders. The magazine was published weekly last year. Weekly is for how often, and last year is for when. The last one is a combination of the first, the second, and the third orders. She worked in a hospital for 2 days last year. For 2 days is for how long, every week is for how often, and last year is for when. Now we're talking about adverbs of place. What is an adverb of place? Adverbs that change or qualify the meaning of the sentence by telling us where things happen are defined as adverbs of place. Some instructors refer to these words or phrases as special adverbs. No matter what they're called, these adverbs always answer one important question: where? Here are the rules for adverbs of place. The first one is an adverb of place always talks about the location where the action of the verb is being carried out. The second one is adverbs of place are normally placed after a sentence's object or main verb. Then adverbs of place can be directional. For example, up, down, around, away, north, and shortest. Adverbs of place can refer to distance. For example, nearby, far away, and miles apart. The last one is an adverb of place can indicate an object's position in relation to other objects. For example, below, between, above, behind, through, around, and so forth. Here are the examples of adverb of place. Each sentence contains an example of an adverb of place. The examples are italicized for easy identification. As these examples, you will notice that some of the adverbs of place contain more than one word.
Adverb of frequency. An adverb of frequency is a word that is employed in a sentence to give more information about the verb, adjective, or another adverb. Adverbs of frequency can be placed after the noun or pronoun that acts as the subject and before the verb if there is just one verb in a sentence. Types of adverb of frequency. The first one is definite frequency and the second one is indefinite frequency. Definite frequency is definite adverb of frequency tells exactly the frequency of something. These adverbs of frequency will usually go at the end of the sentence. Some examples include yearly, every hour, weekly, every day. Indefinite frequency. An indefinite adverb of frequency is a type of adverb that does not show the exact frequency, like always, usually, often, sometimes, seldom, rarely, never. Definite frequency example. The first one is I go to the ice cream shop every day. Every day is definite frequency. I go to the dentist every month. Every month is the definite frequency. She attends cooking class once a week. Once a week is the definite frequency. Indefinite frequency example. The first one is Kelly always feel happy when playing with her cat. Always here is the indefinite frequency. Tom never go to the dentist. Never is the indefinite frequency. They sometimes visit their grandparents. Sometimes here is the indefinite frequency. The next one is adverbs of purpose. An adverb of purpose or cause provides information about why something happened or why something is done. It tells us the reason or motive for a particular event or condition in a sentence. Adverb of purpose. The example is because, for, to, purposely, thus, therefore, so that, in case, etc. Adverb of purpose example. Lily used sunscreen to protect her skin from the sun. To is the adverb of purpose. I made some snack because I was hungry. Because is the adverb of purpose. Tom saving his money so he can buy some books. So is the adverb of purpose. Kiki purposely waited until Nola left before cleaning his house. Purposely is the adverb of purpose. He buys some flour for his mother. For is the purpose. Hayden saves some money in case he needs something. In case is the adverb of purpose.
Okay, so the last one is for the exercise. So, number one is we can start that conference now that all the participants A, the conference, B, arrived, C, have arrived, and for D, after. And for the answer is C, have arrived. For D is wrong because after is a connector clause and the sentence actually they're already the connector. And then for A, the conference is the subject. And then for B, the word arrive, it means that the event is already in the past, even though the conference could have started. This indicates that the conference has not been held in the past. So the correct answer is C. And then number 2 is, which sentence contains an adverb of time? A, John looked around. B, the dancers performed well. C, I went to the park yesterday. And then D, the exam was incredibly difficult. The answer is C. So if all of you remember that adverb of time is an adverb that tell us when an action happened, but also for how long. And in this case, this is an adverb of time that tell us when, and usually placed at the end of the sentence. So for the answer yesterday is to describe when the action is happened, and also it also in the placed at the last of the sentence. And then for number 3, I could hear my neighbors shouting angrily at each other. The sentence contains an A, adverb of frequency, B, adverb of manner, C, adverb of time, and D, adverb of purpose. So the answer for this is B, adverb of manner. Adverb of manner describe how an action is performed or how something happens. So in this case, the adverb of manner is the word angrily. So angrily in the sentence describes how the action happened in this case. So that's all for our presentation. We're really sorry if there are any mistaken in this presentation. So thank you so much and goodbye.